What's going on YouTube? This is the Russell Cage Experience, and as always, Monday night, it is time for my WWE Raw recap / review for April 27th, 2009. And this is the first official night of the draft taking effect, as JR stated on SmackDown. Vicky Guerrero opens the show and mentions Edge winning the World Heavyweight title, and this I thought was going to bring Edge out, and I was getting ready to get mad because it's Raw and Edge is SmackDown, and if the draft is supposed to be taking effect tonight, he should not be on SmackDown. That's all I'm saying. So, but she just mentions it and then introduces Randy Orton. He comes out, and basically the match Vicky Guerrero makes is #1 contender match for Judgment Day. Big Show versus Batista for #1 contender. As I said before, that is our main event for the night. And the winner would go on to face Randy Orton, of course, at Judgment Day. MVP interrupts, which I was glad to see this. It looks like they might be possibly pushing MVP into a main event level spot. I'm hoping, because that would be a great push and a great thing for MVP. So he comes out bad-mouthing Orton and Legacy and all that. Ted and Cody both get on the mic, basically want to make an example out of MVP. Orton goes and whispers something into Vicky Guerrero's ear, and we have our second main event, if you want to call it that, for the night. MVP versus Randy Orton. So it gives MVP a chance to showcase himself in a match against one of the big main event players on Raw, which I'm glad to see that. So maybe we'll see MVP pushed into a title match here, a world title match, or WWE title match, I mean. That'd be great. So, but our first matchup is the Brian Kendrick. Not Brian Kendrick. Not Kendrick. Not just Brian, but the Brian Kendrick, because there's only one, like the Highlander. And he is taking on Kofi Kingston. This was actually, a pretty good match from these two. If I'm not mistaken, Kendrick was trained by Shawn Michaels. If I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below, but I'm pretty sure he is trained by Shawn Michaels. Good match here. Great actually wrestling, technical wrestling, as well as some high flying wrestling. Brian Kendrick put on a good show. Showed why he should be one of the top mid-carders, maybe here on Raw once he got drafted. So the one segment that we have during the night, Big Show and Vicky. This kind of helped cleared why Big Show attacked John Cena last night and helped Edge win the title. He wasn't put up to it by Vicky. He was from what I understand, he was doing that last night to I guess get into a spot like he was tonight, to become a #1 contender on Raw, main event player on Raw. So yeah. But Vicky basically says they're going to keep it professional. That was all that was got out of that. Our next match is an 8-diva tag team match. Santina, Kelly, Brie Bella, and Nikki versus Beth, Maurice, Rosa, and Jillian. Now, an interesting note is that before the draft, Nikki and Brie were kind of feuding, I thought, on SmackDown. I could be wrong, but apparently they were back on good terms because they were both hiding under. Brie went underneath the ring, and her and Nikki popped out, and then Hornswoggle popped out. Santina basically picked up the victory by getting a roll-up pin on Jillian Hall. Kelly, and the rest of them didn't really get a chance. I think this was mainly to showcase Santina and Beth, and yeah, anyway. But basically, I think it's just kind of a time filler, unfortunately, and I mean, yeah, anyway. Our next match, Matt Hardy getting more heel heat to him this week, taking on the name that WWE has apparently forgotten with the results of this match. They've forgotten the name Goldust. And that's for you, buddy. But my buddy Ronnie, who is a Goldust fan, figured I'd do that special for you. Anyway, Matt Hardy versus Goldust. Matt Hardy picking up the victory. He had his cast on. He had a legitimate injury last night at Backlash. He had his wrist, his hurt wrist, poor little wrist, and all that. So, cracks Goldust in the skull, picks up the victory. Just helped get a little bit more heel heat on him. Still kind of not sure what they're going to be doing with Matt Hardy on Raw right yet. So you just kind of gotta wait and see, I guess. But honestly, from the sounds of it, they're trying to push these kind of mid-carder guys that they've got drafted over to Raw. They're trying to push them up maybe closer to the main event spot, and I think that's going to hopefully work out well for them as long as they do it well, you know. So next matchup is Randy Orton versus MVP. Really good match. I shouldn't say really good. It is a good match. It's a very entertaining match, and it showed that MVP can hold his own against the big dogs here on Raw. Randy Orton wins via disqualification. He gets cracked in the cranium by a kendo stick by Shane McMahon. And that brings out Legacy. They chase Shane McMahon out, and he goes in the audience and all that, and that's what happened there. But MVP versus Randy Orton got some good TV time in it. You know, as I said, it showed MVP's ready to, you know, I feel, my personal opinion, that he's ready to compete with the big dogs there on Raw. So next up, The Miz comes out and kind of speaks in a roundabout way, even though he's trying to do it from a heel aspect of it. He spoke for the fans, that basically he's getting tired of people like the John Cenas and the Triple H's and the Randy Ortons, and you know, these people that we basically been seeing day in and day out, year after year, in the title picture. He's saying it's time to get a fresh start with the younger talent here. So he challenges John Cena. So as we all know, or assumed, I should say, by what happens later in the night, John Cena wasn't there. He was nursing his injuries. So basically, Miz says that he wins by forfeit. I don't know how well that would stand in the WWE courts, if you will, but that it is what it is. And our next match is a tag team match. One thing that kind of irked me, honestly, with this was the fact that they still have Carlito and Primo carrying 2 tag belts. If they unify the tag belts, just make one set of tag team belts instead of having 2 sets still. That would just kind of be the logical thing to do. At least to me it would. And it kind of also shows that the tag team division is still not, I don't want to necessarily say not respected, but it's still kind of not getting as much credibility to it as it should be, because they're kind of just tossing people to team up together also, because in this match we had Carlito and Primo versus Chavo Guerrero and Jamie Noble, with Carlito and Primo, of course, picking up the victory there. I mean, not really much to talk about in that, but anyway. We have Primo versus Ted Jr. On WWE Superstars this week, so I'm thinking they might be trying to push maybe Priceless versus Carlito and Primo for the tag titles, which would be good. So Vicky comes out, makes an announcement, says next week it will be Randy Orton versus Shane McMahon for next week on Raw, and that led us into the #1 contender match, Big Show versus Batista. John Cena comes out and distracts Big Show and helps Batista win by countout. So Batista is the #1 contender. We're going to be seeing at Judgment Day Batista versus Randy Orton. Hopefully when Triple H comes back, we will be able to see maybe a triple threat kind of feud involved there. And obviously we're going to be seeing John Cena versus Big Show feud. So as far as Raw tonight, it was a decent Raw following Backlash. Kind of helped setting up the storylines and thus far, and helping solidify some of the mid-carder people as possible future main event talent. So successful Raw. I thought, even though, um, and it really wasn't like segment driven. There's a lot of video packages and whatnot, but I mean that there's quite a bit of wrestling tonight, and I think that was a good move on WWE's part following Backlash. So post your thoughts in the comments below. Be sure, if you, as always, if you enjoy watching the videos, go ahead and subscribe to the videos. And as always, thank you for watching. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow night for an ECW review recap. And as always, thank you for watching. And you guys take it easy and peace out.